everyone is going to start bugging you about a potential one day, maybe pie in the sky dream of a Marvel DC crossover. As a storyteller, have you begun to imagine what that actually might be like? And what two characters would you like to see put together and share a moment with on the big screen?
Not only have I thought about that, but I've actually talked about that to the heads of both Marvel and DC. But
where we're going, we don't need roads.
Mr. Gunn, this is a huge honor, man. I'm such a fan. I've never gotten to talk to you before, so I appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, thank you, man. No problem.
Congratulations on this. I'm going to jump right into it. I really love how much freedom you've been given with this R rating. You clearly take it and you run with it. If you had been given an R rating with Guardians, what's the moment you'd love to redo without the constraints of a PG-13 rating?
I would not have taken it if I was given it with the Guardians. It just wasn't. That's not what that movie is. I think that it's like I am totally free with the Guardians, but it's written for families. It's written for kids go to see Guardians. Adults, grandparents. It's a different mindset. I'm communicating to a different audience. So I do feel completely free with the Guardians movies. They're just a little bit of a different project. This, to me, is written towards, people who are a little bit older. It's, I'm able to do anything. It's people who are looking for all sorts of twists and turns, not only in terms of, a shark ripping a guy in half, but in terms of the more heartfelt moments, in terms of the plot where we go off with Harley for 10 minutes. And, those are the biggest risks to me in this movie.
Oh my God. And you crush it, because I also, like Idris, have a fear of rats, and how you made me fall in love with one by the end of the movie, I will never understand. Now that you have directed in both Marvel and DC, everyone is going to start bugging you about a potential one day, maybe pie in the sky dream of a Marvel DC crossover. As a storyteller, have you begun to imagine what that actually might be like? And what two characters would you like to see put together and share a moment with on the big screen?
Well, I would really be happy to do a Harley Quinn and Groot movie. That would be exciting for me. And not only have I thought about that, but I've actually talked about that to the heads of both Marvel and DC. But, it's like they everybody's open to everything, but whether anything would ever happen, who knows? But the idea of being able to bring Marvel and DC together in a movie that would be really fun for me. And I know it's exciting for even the heads of Marvel and DC to think about. Kevin Feige over at Marvel and Toby Emmerich over at Warner Brothers. Like it's something we all like to dream about. Whether we could ever get through the barrage, the Berlin Wall of lawyers we would need to get through to ever make something like that happen, I don't know, but it would be a blast.
I'm sorry, for the rest of my life, this Harley Quinn Groot movie is going to be playing out in my head. That I cannot stop thinking about that. That is amazing. Please one day make that happen.
Yeah, I can also get really behind a Rocket Groot, King Shark and Weasel movie. That would be fantastic as well, I think.
Just like Mike, just Avengers step aside, Avatar step aside, Titanic step, that's the highest grossing film of all time, right there.
With Sebastian the Rat in there.
Yes. Oh, that's it. That's done. It's game over. I have to say, what I love about this movie is honestly, it sounds horrible, how many people die. Like no one is safe, no matter who the actor is that plays the character. When sitting down to write the story, what determined if someone died or not? What qualities did a character need to have maybe to make it to the end?
Well, I don't think anybody had any I think that I don't want to say it was random, but every death served the story. I mean, there were some characters that I chose, and I knew that when I chose those characters, they were going to die, and some of them that were going to die earlier, and some that were going to die later. But then sometimes, when you're crafting a story, you got to, part of it is just following instinct and what feels good and what doesn't feel so good. Where do you feel like you're going off base, and where do you feel like you're in the flow? And when I was in the flow, sometimes people would get killed that I don't want to see killed. There's two characters in particular that every time I watch the movie, I get teary-eyed because I don't want to see those characters die. But I think it served the story and it served the greater story of the film. So that's why it happens.
If you ever do another one of these and you need a junketeer, like the junketeer who just constantly asks bad questions throughout the movie, and then you can just obliterate me and kill me, like I volunteer as tribute. I will do it for free.
I've heard bad junketeer questions. These are not them. These are good.
Okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Mr. Gunn, seriously, it was an absolute honor to chat with you, man. And seriously, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Hopefully, next time we talk is in person so I can shake your hand.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.